The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Well, welcome back to the Tap to Table show. Your host, Marie-Chantal here, and we have a guest today. His name is Michael Hauptly-Pierce. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So this show, so you know, we take everyday recipes and we elevate the flavors with good crafted beer. So today we are going to do a gluten-free, no-bake, no-egg cheesecake. And I need you to say that like 3 or 4 times and see how fast you can say it. And he is going to be my assistant, my sous chef.
Nice.
Beautiful. So, well, let's start off with some main ingredients. And what we have here is we have some cream cheese. We also have some sour cream and some sugar and lemon juice. And also, have you heard of xanthan gum?
Why no? Tell me about it.
It's like a binder.
This sounds familiar, actually.
Yes, I'm sure there's a lot of binders y'all know, but this is one that is particularly helpful in cooking. What it does, it can take a lot of like ingredients that are semi-wet and kind of puts it like more gelatinous, a little thicker. So what I did was I let the cream cheese kind of set for a bit. You want it to be at room temperature. You know, you can help out.
Oh, really?
You
okay.
can offer.
What shall I hand you?
You can hand me some sour cream.
Have some sour cream.
Oh, yes, I scream more for sour cream. Oh wait, did that come out right?
As long as it's going in right.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be one, and we haven't even started drinking yet. That's the sad part.
Based on the last couple of times I had you on my podcast, we kind of knew this was going to go out of hand.
That's right. So your I love your little podcast. But we'll talk more because we're going to enjoy the dessert and have some. You brought some.
I brought some mead.
You brought some mead. Oh, so there is some alcohol involved.
Well, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. Well,
not minding what's already in my bloodstream, there's actually some as well in the refrigerator.
So we added the sugar, and what we're going to do is we're going to get this going. We start off slow, and then we built up the speed.
Do you have an order here?
I do. And then we add some lemon juice.
Shall I?
Shall you?
All of it?
All of it. Bam. We added the key components and now we're mixing things up. We're going to increase the speed gradually for this to kind of mix, and what we want is to kind of get it a little bit more, a little thicker. And because we're using no egg, this is where the xanthan gum comes into play as far as for trying to add it as a thickener. So we're going to just tap it in, and you use very little of it.
How much was that?
That was about 1/8. So it's typical about 1/8 to about like a cup of product. So that kind of gives you a good estimate right there.
And is that something that you can find easily at most grocery stores, or do you need to go to kind of a specialty store for that?
No, you can go to like any big chain grocery store. We'll have this available. It's most likely going to be in the baking section. So in your baking supply section, where all your like your baking soda, yada yada, you'll see it says xanthan gum. Okay. And it's almost there.
Do we need to add the beer as well? Is that going in?
Yes, we are.
Or is that just for me?
Yes, your little shot of love right there.
As long as I stick my pinky out, it'll be okay.
So with here, we're just adding, it's about a tablespoon of beer. Now this beer in particular, I liked because it had a nice little honey flavor, which you're gonna see where we're gonna add a little bit of an accent to this towards the end. So now we're just going to increase the speed again.
And that was a Saison Belgian style beer.
Oh. Yes, yeah, you are like the smart one on this one.
Well, I made the beer, so I know about it.
Just a little.
A little bit.
A little bit.
I heard things.
Exactly. So this is going on full speed. Uh-oh, wait for it. And that's it, we're done. Okay, so now you get to see what it looks like. And it's kind of like a nice little thicky consistency. So it's made everything a lot thicker.
Oh yeah, it's thickened up already.
Yeah, it's thickened up, yeah. So that's what's the helpfulness of the xanthan gum. Now, that was one component. And this is one cheesecake, like if you're having a dinner party and you want something quick and easy to make, this takes probably about a good 15 minutes from start to finish. And then you set it in the refrigerator and just let it sit until your guests arrive, have your dinner, and then pop this out at the end with some beer. It's very easy to make. So now we're going to do the crust for the end of our cheesecake. And what we are going to add is pumpkin kernels. They've been roasted and lightly salted, and bacon. Yes. And then at the end, we're going to be topping it off with a little bit of a nutmeg mixture along with a honey and beer sauce that we're going to add towards the end. So we're going to put this into our food processor. And this was about a 1/3 cup of pumpkin seeds, and this is about a 1/4 cup of crushed, a very good bacon. Yeah. And we'll put this towards the end. We're going to put it in our food processor and we're going to blend it. So we just finished grinding up all the ingredients, and this is going to be our nice little crust on the bottom component. All right. Thank you very much.
And these are just regular canning jars?
Yeah, just to make something a little different, you know? It'll be a nice little way to kind of just make them look pretty.
For the people.
For the people, that's right. It's all about the people and your tummies. Yeah. Okay. So this mixture, this recipe will go for 4 servings. And we're gonna add a little teaspoon of this on the bottom, like a little parfait. And so we added 1 component here. Now we're gonna grab our cream cheese mixture. And thank you for the scooper. Scoop it.
Nice and pretty.
Yeah, let's try to see if we can keep it upright next time.
I was trying to be helpful.
I know, you are.
Through the miracles of post-production.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. It's kind of falling in there. Yeah, tap it in, tap it in. I think we need to get a smaller spoon. So, okay.
It'd be like a pastry bag. Like an icing bag, one of those.
That's not a bad idea. Oh, genius, a pastry bag. Hey, now that I got my trusty spoon, it'd be a lot easier to scoop and set. Put a little bit more for a topping.
There we go.
That's
the right tool for the right job.
Exactly. Put a little bit of that in there. So give me some lovin', give me some lovin'.
That crust smells great. The combination of the pumpkin seeds and the bacon.
And it's gluten-free. So it's a nice little dessert. So if you because that seems to be something kind of common now out there. A lot of people who have gluten-free allergies, whether you have an allergy or celiac disease, this could be a nice little tasty dessert for you. So now we're gonna finish this up with just a little bit more on the top. Sprinkle that on there. Ooh, Shazam. There's a little bit extra. Digging that. And top it off. Okay. And then we do a nice little like bloop.
Just a bloop?
Just a little bloop. Not a dollop.
Not
just
a,
little
yeah.
bloop.
Maybe even a demi bloop.
A demi gloop of stuff. Yeah. There we go. We want to be bad. We don't want to be totally bad because I want to make sure I save my calories for like my beer. Is that so bad? Is that so bad?
All things in moderation, even
All
moderation.
things- Exactly. Okay. Now, to finish this off, to make sure all the flavors get complete, what I like to do is to add, it's a mixture, it has nutmeg, it has also a little bit of cinnamon. It's called 7 Spice. You can find this in any like Lebanese store. It's always nice to be able to experiment different flavors, and it really can enhance the flavor complexes of the dish. So we're just taking a little sprinkle, top it here. Oh, beautiful. Okay, now in here I had taken some more of the lovely beer that you had bought. And this is about a couple of tablespoons of beer. And the beer really had some nice notes of like honey flavor, so we are adding a little extra honey to kind of give it a little sweetness to it. And it's probably about just a squirt.
Is that a metric squirt or a standard squirt?
It depends who's watching.
You invited me.
I know. Oh, so what I've done was I use this nice little rubber, like what do we call it? Pastry? No, it's a brush.
It's a brush.
It's a brush. It's a brush. Not a hairbrush, but just like a regular kitchen brush.
And that's definitely metric.
Yes, it is metric. And we're gonna take it, and it just adds like a nice little drizzle on top. Going to add a little bit more on this one. I'm so excited. I know.
Smelling all those together makes
It's
me
like-
want to try one.
Well, guess what?
I'll have to wait 2 hours until they set.
No, because with the magic of TV. Oh. And now, through the magic of television, we just pulled these delicious gluten-free, no-bake cheesecakes out of the refrigerator. They had set for about a couple hours.
It's amazing how time just flies when we get lost in conversation, isn't it? I feel like we
know.
just made these a few minutes ago.
I know, isn't that wonderful?
That's quality time.
That is, I know, because you brought a lot of beverage to drink, so we didn't have some time to chit chat. So now you're ready to indulge.
I've been ready for 2 hours.
And what did you bring for us today to complement these delicious treats?
Well, you had said that you liked the beer that you would use as an ingredient. Unfortunately, that beer is now gone, so there was
Okay.
no more of that left to drink. But you said you'd like the honey notes on it. So this is a
Yes.
mead that I made a few years ago. Mead is honey wine, so essentially this is a little bit of apricot puree, honey, water, yeast, and yeast nutrient. That's it. I let it all ferment out for about 3 months. And then I bottled it, and it's been aging in a bottle for about 18 months past that.
Really?
So it's semi-sweet, so it's a little sweet, but not super dessert
Yeah.
wine sweet. So I don't think it will throw off the flavor. I think it'll actually complement the flavor of your dessert quite well.
Beautiful. I feel so special. He waited 18 months. Wow.
And we're using these nice tap handle show glasses.
I know. So we need to kind of talk about a little bit of that. So tell me more of this tap handle.
The Tap Handle Show is a podcast about beer and brewing. We can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, and also at www.thetaphandleshow.com. We've been out for about a year and a half. We interview brewers and vintners and proprietors of cool beer and wine related shops. We look at news items around fermenting. We look at some style guidelines, and then we close every show with a song from an unsigned artist from anywhere in the world. And we're in about 45 countries and 50 states right now.
Nice.
So, and I'm looking forward to having you on the show this Friday.
I'm very excited because I have been on the show before, and it is definitely a hoot.
Debauchery ensues.
Debauchery, it's
It's like
no
the
holds
premium
barred.
content.
It's yeah, exactly. It's no holds barred on this show. And if you didn't get all that information, because he is a fast talker, it will be available on the Tap to Table Show Facebook, and you'll get more information along with the recipes that we have.
Excellent.
Beautiful. So let's cheers.
Why wait any further?
I know. Oh my gosh. I need a moment.
I'm overclamped. Talk amongst
Oh
yourselves.
my god. Oh, let me listen.
You like that?
I'll take the rest at home.
I'll let you keep that. I only made 2 gallons.
2 gallons?
2 gallons. Premium local honey.
That is absolutely divine.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, just like you. You're so divine. The little halo.
I know, huh? My German teacher used to always accuse me of shining my halo. I would say something would happen, and she'd say, "You did it, didn't you?" And I'd say, and she'd say, "Heiligen scheinen Hermen." Some things never change.
I know.
30 years later,
And you're still.
and I'm still shining the halo.
Absolutely. So, without further ado. Let's here, one for you.
Just one?
Yes. Oh, well, we have 4. You may just, I can mix it up however you like.
There's a Ponzi scheme? Which one's this? It's not under any of them. I'm not.
I know.
What did you?
know.
Oh, now I'm confused.
I know. So here's your spoon.
Hey, thank you.
All right. So let's dive in to this. I'm excited.
Wow. That has a lot going on.
I know.
The bacon and the pumpkin seeds add a nice earthy, almost a little bit umami kind of note. Good tanginess from the cream cheese and the sour cream. The spice is really subtle, but kind of comes through on the finish.
Comes through. Absolutely, yes. Yeah. Anything else you like to talk? This is like,
Is it like, Did I make cheesecake come out of your nose? I think every time I've been on a show with you before, I'd made something come out of your nose. Cheesecake would be a challenge. Right here, ladies and gentlemen.
I know. And this is where it's like censored. No.
Oh, we can say coming out of your nose on TV. It's just cheesecake, for crying out loud.
But it's a very simple dessert.
It is.
Yeah. Very easy to make, and it takes no time at all. Like I said, by the time you finish eating, enjoying your time with your guest, or maybe making some home brews, you boom, I got this.
Excellent. You could even make it while your guests were waiting, perhaps.
Absolutely. You know, pretend like you're doing a little cooking show at home. Could be very fancy. And with the mason jars, like I said, it just adds like a different little touch. And if you don't finish it, which I can't imagine your guests not finishing all your dessert, you can always just put the lid on, screw it, put it back for later.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see it either.
In fact, I kind of see this happening, actually.
I see that a lot of happening.
What's that over there?
I know. So, well, no, this is good. So I really like your show.
Thank you.
As far as what you, because it is, it's also very educational what he provides. It kind of gives, like, if anyone is into just starting to learn more about beer, or if maybe they want to see what are some new local breweries around, it's a great show to kind of tune in, because he gives you a lot of information as far as what some of these brewers do. He puts on some of these guests, and there's a lot going on, but I enjoy the show because it's just like it's an educational show with beer.
With beer.
Good.
And actually, the name for your show came from listeners of my show. Why don't you tell them a little bit about how that all happened?
Yes. So I was on his show, and because I own a company called The Beerkery, where we do beer baked goods. And then we just started conversing about, like, I'm going to start this show, and we went to say, hey, listeners, you posted on your Facebook. Anyone? Let's throw out some names. And there was some pretty good names. Yeah.
That was a very engaging thread of all the stuff that I kind of crowdsourced for information. I think that was probably one of the most interactive posts that we've had. Probably had 30 different people chime in with ideas over the course of about a week.
Absolutely.
It was really cool.
Yes. So it was, and then we tallied up. We see who won, and Tap the Table Show was the winner, and that was from New Hampshire brewer, which I get to meet him. Thank you to him for the clever idea that he brought.
You should have him on the show sometime. He's a character. I'll put you guys together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Oh my goodness. I hope y'all are having as much fun as we are.
I don't know if that's possible. We're having an awful lot of fun here.
Because I think I should put on, prior to watching the show, you should have, like 2 drink minimum?
Yeah,
Two drink minimum at least, easy, while you're watching the show. So.
Just to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Being on the same page.
What are the latest trends that are going on now with beer?
Well, there's definitely a lot of new breweries opening up in New Hampshire. The change in legislation a few years ago has made it much more attractive for folks to open up smaller breweries where before it would have been kind of cost prohibitive from a distribution standpoint, from a licensing standpoint. They created a really small, lower tier of the licensing that allows you to make 2,000 barrels a year, which is a barrel's 31 gallons. So it's not a whole lot. Sounds like a lot, but it's really not a lot. You can self-distribute. You can sell samples in your own facility. You can do growler fills at your own facility. And so you could actually theoretically probably survive on just what you sold out of your tap room if you were smart with your business. So we're seeing a lot of folks coming into the marketplace. Style-wise, I would say session IPAs, so an IPA but something that was 4 or 4.5% are really hot right now. I think people kind of push the IPA spectrum to its logical conclusion as far as being 10%, 11%, 12%, and that's great, but how many pints can you drink at 12%? So I think we're seeing the pendulum swing the other way now, where people are saying, well, let's find out if we can make a beer that has as much flavor as this 12% triple IPA, but only has 4.5%, so I can drink one an hour and know that I'm still going to be able to walk around. I'm seeing Berliner Weiss, which is kind of a specialized style.
It's funny that you mentioned, because I was gonna mention it because it seems like that is also becoming a growing trend. That tends to be a beer that he will give you the more of the technical side because that's his specialty, but it has a little bit of some sour notes. But if it's done well, the sour that plays in the beer can really accentuate whatever you're eating. It is. I'm beginning to like. It's very refreshing. I love the clean crispness that it brings to the table. But
it's almost like a lemonade in its tartness.
Yes, absolutely. So if you're a lemonade lover, that I think will probably be a good one to try.
And I think we're going to see more popularity in that style because it's not like beer, quote unquote. That people who think they know what beer is like and don't like beer, they probably have a very narrow idea of what beer is, and that's what they don't like. But what they don't realize is that all these different styles of beer that are nothing like an IPA or nothing like a Bud Light. And this is a good style like that, where people who don't like malty beers or hoppy beers might very well like a Berliner Weiss or other kinds of sour beers, and they do pair really well. People are doing them with raspberry. Traditionally, they would be done with raspberry or sugar syrup or woodruff, which is sort of a bitter herb.
Yeah, with the blueberry.
Or blueberry. I don't think blueberry is so traditional. It's a German style, and I don't know if they have a lot of blueberries there. But White Birch Bill is certainly doing a great job with the blueberry, and there's actually another brewery in Massachusetts that does a lot of Berliner Weisses, and they sell out as soon as they launch them. I think you're seeing more and more people becoming aware of the fact that there are more beer styles, and for the first time in history, there was more craft beer sold in 2014 than there was Bud Light. So more craft beer as a category than Bud Light as a brand, which may seem somewhat insignificant, but from a historical standpoint, that's never happened before. You look at the bar graphs of Bud Light drinker and the numbers go down, and you look at the bar graph of craft beer drinkers and they go up, and those two finally crossed each other last year, which means that the 21-year-old drinkers who are coming of age are not drinking their father's beer, and a lot of the time their father's beer actually is craft beer.
So, no, it is. So I'd say the craft beer industry has boomed to a point where people are becoming more and more interested to taste what we got to offer, and along with even creating delicious goodies, whether it's baked goods or even just putting them on the table to accentuate what you have. So thank you again so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. Always a good time with you.
I know, and bringing the mead, which I'm like now taking that home
That's
with
yours.
me.
That's yours.
It's all mine. And we'll have to, have you come on again.
Absolutely.
For the time, and this time, won't be we won't laugh as much.
I doubt that very much.
Again, all these recipes and everything for the show will be on the Tap to Table Facebook page, and you can tune in with everything we have. Thank you again for joining us.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.